It's about steering clear of overwriting, and it comes out of so I teach a course for the Australian Writers Centre for kids, and also I do a teen one as well. But I developed a course for kids. It's called the Creative Writing Quest, and it goes through the basics of story writing. And one of the things that I do with that is that the kids upload an 800-word story at the end, and I give them video feedback on their story. And one of the things that I notice, particularly with the very keen writers, mostly with them, is that they will try to put in every single big word they've ever met in their entire life into a story. They have, some of them, incredible vocabs. Like, they are really clever, and they are, they've clearly, they read a lot. These are the kids that have probably, gone down that road that I've just talked about before, where they're, every time you read and you see a word in context, you get an understanding of what that word is. And if you're very keen, you go and look that word up. It's that kind of thing. So some of these kids who are, aged between 9 and 14 have extraordinary vocabs. And the secret with those kids is teaching them not to overuse that, not to put every single 3-syllable word that they've ever used into a story, because often, and this is what I say to them all the time, that often the best word in any sentence is actually the simplest word. You have to remember that you're writing for a reader and you're writing for understanding. You're not necessarily just writing to impress. So if the 3-syllable word is, I call them $5 words. If the $5 word is the best possible word in that sentence, by all means use it. Just don't use 5 of them in the one sentence, because then you've got a fairly expensive sentence. What you want to do is use them sparingly, because then they have more impact. You want your $5 words to stand out, because they will stand out. That's the thing. When you're reading, you really notice those words that are, outside of the normal vocab. You notice them. So you only want them noticed for the right reasons. You want them noticed for the reason that you wanted them noticed. That is, that they're making a very solid point within the context of your story, not just, oh, here comes another $5 word. So use the best word, not the biggest word. And that's kind of the advice that I give kids with creative writing all the time, which is not necessarily what they're learning at school, because what they're learning at school is, and I quite understand why this is the case, because they're learning how to use vocab. They're learning how to use those words. And so they're often encouraged to use a lot of them at once. And I understand that. But good writing is generally restrained writing. And it means if you're going to use those $5 words, you use them for maximum impact, not just because you know them. That's my tip.